another fun DIY video. Today we're going to be making these ear cuffs. These are flippable ones. If you wear them like this, they are elf ears, but if you switch them around, they become goblin ears. So yeah, they're pretty easy to make, and there are a bunch of different versions that you can make of these. I made them pretty basic and simple, but if you want to decorate them with beads or spikes or anything like that, go ahead. This is just a basic shape, really. What you will need for this is two types of wire. One that is a little bit thicker, that's going to make up the main shape of your cuff, and then one that is smaller that you're going to use to set the edges of the thicker wire and to use to attach beads and things like that if you want to do that. Other than the wire, you're also going to need some wire cutters and some craft pliers or tongs. And like I said, if you do want to use beads or anything like that to decorate, keep those handy as well. Since I have already made my first ear cuff, I'm going to be using this as a reference, but when I made the first one, I basically just looked at some different photos and then just bent it, tried it on, bent it some more until I got the shape that I wanted. Starting with the thickest wire, we are going to make up this shape. You see this little curved end right here? You don't need to make it like this. This is, for one, it's a decorative detail, but also this means that the cuff is open so that you can switch it around, like change it up and bend it from time to time when wearing it. But if you're happy with your basic shape, you can just skip this little extra thing and just close this end just like you've done on this side instead. It's all up to you, but I kind of like this and I like being able to change it if I want to. This little twisty part is where I'm gonna start. So I'm taking the wire, grabbing it by the very tip, and then starting to bend it around. So I'm just creating that little flip first. And then I'm basically just going to follow that shape. Now, what kind of shape that you want may vary. You might want this to be pointier. You might want this to be pointy instead of rounded out. Just go with whatever you like. And for the main shape, you can use your hands. You don't have to use the tongs or the pliers. All right. And then after that, we're gonna start doing this bend. So keeping my finger right here to remember where it is. And then once we have that first bend, we're going to go back around again. Because this curve right here is where you attach the cuff to the ear. Alright, then just cutting that off. And once you have that basic piece, it looks like shit right now, but now you get started on working with the actual shape. So now it's all about the trimming and doing the little tweaks to get that shape that you want. When you're happy with your basic shape, it's time to seal this open end off. And we're going to do that with the help of the thinner wire. So I'm just going to cut a piece of that. And then I'm going to take this pointy end right here and just bend it up. So these two match now, and we can layer them and then use the wire to seal them together. Making a little hook in that thinner wire. And using that to hook into these two. And then I'm going to close it up as best I can. And then start wrapping this around. And then pull in that end bit so that it doesn't poke out and hurt you. Alright, first side has been sealed. Now we're going to repeat that on this side. So get your smaller wire out, cut a piece, make a little loop or a little hook, hook that into the end, and then you can start the wrapping, just like we did on the first side. And then get rid of that pointy end, just like we did before. Final step is adding this little decorative swirl that I decided to do. I just think it makes it a little bit more interesting. You can keep it plain like this if you want, or you can add some beads or spikes or stuff, but this is what I did for the first one, so that's what I'm going to do for the second one as well. For the swirly part itself, I'm using the thicker wire. So I'm going to start by recreating that shape, which is sort of a twirly S. And then to attach the little swirly part to the cuff, we're going to be using that thinner wire again. So right about here is where we want this to go. I'm going to start by making a small hook again into that smaller wire. Then grabbing that, pulling the hook through, and then holding it in place with the one plier, and this is why we have two. I'm going to take the other one and start wrapping it around. If your wire is soft enough, you can use your fingers for this too. Wrap it as tightly as you can, or otherwise this is going to be moving around. And once it's wrapped all the way around, do the same as we did down here, which is just closing it, making it tight, and making sure that you don't have any sharp corners poking out. And then we're going to repeat that for the other side of our little twirly piece. Again, starting off by making a hook in the smaller, thinner wire, and then using that to grab, pull through, and hold it in place with one tongue, and then use the other one to wrap it around. You guys know what it's all about by now. Keep wrapping it around until you run out of wire, and then once again squeeze it together to get rid of any sharp edges. And just do some quick tweaking so that the two match, but then you are basically done. I'm now wearing both of them together. I actually prefer wearing them the elf ear way because they point out more. It's just cuter that way, but you do what you prefer. And yeah, that's it for this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any questions, post those in the comments and I'll get back to you. Thank you so much for watching, and yeah, I'll see you next time. Bye!